Web technologies. Syllabus. Okay, so again, this is all online if you lose this or want to refer back to it at any point. So this class is going to be a 3-hour class every Tuesday morning, 9 to noonish. The prereq for this is only if you're an admin student. For marketing students, there's not a prereq for this. So originally this class was created for admin students completely, and marketing students probably 4 or 5 years ago were taking Web Dev 1 as the class that this became, which was a whole 15-semester course on HTML and CSS coding. And we kind of thought that might be a bit overkill for admins, and we could maybe dial it back to doing web technologies that you would use we thought that might be overkill for marketing, and that it might be a good mix to come into this class with the admins. So that's kind of the background of it. Ironically, most of the admins are taking it online now, which you're the only one in person, so
they
thank you.
told me that yesterday. I'm like, well,
yeah.
geez, whatever.
It's their loss. This is a much better, that's not the right word. You'll have more fun with this class in person, so whatever. So anyway, we are going to learn a basic understanding of the web, tools used to create web pages, blogs, other features, and you're going to learn social media and other business tools on the web. We do have a free book that I'll share with you. The link is right here, and it's an updated version, which is nice. You don't need this until next week, so you can grab this next week. But when you do click on this link, you're going to get this, perhaps. And on this first login, you can do anything you want, but I just want you to know that your student email is through Microsoft now, and you're already logged in here. So that's probably the easiest way, is to choose this Microsoft option to log in the first time, and then just use your school identity. And once you've done that, you should be, here we go, at this book page, and they started you right on chapter 1. So we don't have a pretty cover to look at, but Web 2.0 and social media for business in a connected world. So this is the book that we're going to be using. I'm going to have you look at a couple of these chapters before classes every now and then. So there, again, is no textbook that you have to buy. It's just this option right here. So that's that. So some competencies that we're going to learn in this class is we are going to use HTML code. You're going to learn that, but you're not going to learn it for 15 weeks. We're just going to have a smaller section of it, so you're just kind of aware of it and how to use it, which will help you troubleshoot. If you're an admin in a smaller company, you may very well be tasked with all these jobs, and marketing especially. It may come about where you're working with designers or developers, and understanding and knowing code is really going to be helpful to you to make things work the way you want it to do. And if you think of email marketing, I'm sure you guys get emails from companies that you'd have signed up to get something from them, right? Probably wish you didn't, because it floods your inbox. But nonetheless, those email marketing documents are produced using HTML code, so understanding how they work is going to help you make better emails out to your clients and how to track things and get better results. We're going to summarize the use of social media and Web 2.0 practices in current business models right now. You're going to learn about cascading style sheets, which is basically the decoration or the clothing for HTML, which is just pure code. So it's how you make something look, how you make a website look. So with cascading style sheets, you can change it from having a blue background and black type and pictures to having a pink background and red type, all with just a few lines of code. You don't have to go back and fix every single page. You are going to create HTML emails and e-newsletters, prepare and optimize images for use on the web. We're going to use Notepad++, which is free software, to do coding, and we're also going to show you Wix and WordPress. You're going to design a Facebook page for a business, a Twitter page for a business, a blog for a business, and you're going to make a video for a business optimized for use on the internet. So that's kind of what we're going to hit in this class. Grading scale is the same for your program classes. As always, 93% is an A, 86 is a B, and 80 is a C. And you do need a C in your program classes to pass. I'm going to skip that online part, but for the online students, I guess, I think I will say this anyway because they're listening and it kind of applies to you guys too. For online students, it's highly recommended that you set aside a consistent time each week for course activities. And if any of you, have you guys had online classes at all? Has everybody had maybe one or two? Yeah. The thing is if your deadline is on, say, a Sunday, which for this class it's going to be the same time as your deadline. So Tuesday at start of class or Tuesday at the end of class is going to be the online deadline as well. But if you don't look at it until Monday night and you have problems, you're kind of in a pickle, right? So it's smart to at least look at the learning plan and see what's expected of you over the next week. And maybe try to hit it a little bit earlier so that if you do have problems, you can reach out before it's too late. So assignments and deadlines. I still have my design wording in here, and I apologize for that, but frankly, marketing and design are like hand in hand. And frankly, that word could just be business. Business industry is deadline driven. Okay, if something is due at a certain day, if some documents are due, or your taxes are due April 15th, those aren't negotiable things. You have to meet deadlines. So because of that, this is my late policy. Anything that you don't have done by the deadline has to be submitted as is. So if it's a Twitter campaign and you only have like one post done and you were supposed to have done 20, this is exaggeration, you need to turn in what you have done at that point to prove to me that you started, and then I'll allow you to have the late points. So in the first 1 to 3 days of being late, it's down to being 90%. In the rest of the first week, if you turn it in late, it's down to 80%. And then in the second week, it's worth half points, and then after that, it's not. So deadlines are really important. You can't ignore that, and we are trying to help basically groom you for the real business world so that you're prepared for deadlines. Let's see. We're going to do a lot of talking in this class and sharing material, so if that makes you nervous to talk in front of people, I get that, but this is a small group where the more we do it, the easier it gets, and I'm going to ask you for feedback too. Stuck to my metallic watch. So I'll ask you to give feedback to each other, what you think they did well, what they could improve upon, what you liked, and that will be important. Attendance and missed classes and lateness. So attendance is important. Employers often ask, the soft skills side of people, did they come to class, did they show up, did they turn in work on time? So 2 unexcused absences is the equivalent of what used to be called you're dropped from the class, but there's no more drop anymore. So 2 unexcused absences, you can fail the class at that point. You've earned your F. So what's unexcused? Unexcused is you don't show up, you don't tell me, you don't talk to me, you don't check in later. It's just you weren't here. It's no big deal. You don't care. That's unexcused. If you're sick or the roads are glare ice and you're in the country and you aren't able to get here at 9 a.m. or something, just send me an email. Let me know what's going on. I will work with anybody and everybody who's upfront and honest with me and tells me what's going on, and if they're not able to make it for whatever reason, it's the people that don't communicate that get these unexcused and have bad outcomes. Okay? Any questions on that or concerns? You guys know if you've been here at all, or is this your first year, most of you? Probably, now that I say that, sort of. But last year we had a ton of snow days.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, like 5 in the first 2 weeks or something, snow or cold. So when that happens, obviously school calls and cancels, and then I figure out, okay, can I get caught up next time in class, or do I need to put something online to keep us on track, because there's only 15 weeks. So we'll just kind of play it by ear and hope we don't have, too many of them. They're always exciting. They're exciting for me, too, to get a snow day. When you only meet 15 times in a semester, it can really screw up your schedule. So, responsibility for your files. Okay, I teach everything else in the Mac lab, which is a whole different world. But in here, you guys do have access to the H drive where you can store things. But that's just here on campus, right? You don't have access off campus. They haven't changed that. So a good idea is to have a jump drive and or online backup for your coursework. So OneDrive is free with your with your email and everything. So feel free to save stuff there. Eventually, when we start doing things like making a Twitter page or a Facebook page for a business, obviously that's being stored somewhere else, so that's good. Working through this. If you have any questions, please ask. If something isn't making sense, rather than like drowning for the next half an hour, please say something and ask for some clarification. You may not be the only one, but maybe just the first person to ask. So please do that. Feel free to talk and share feedback. And then basically we'll jump down to the bottom, the college-wide policies that we have to talk about in this first week. The ADA statement, so if you have a documented physical or cognitive disability, there's accommodation services here on campus, and you can chat with them and we can do some accommodations. You know, it might be something physical where you need a screen reader, or maybe you need a quiet room for testing. To be honest, this is not a testing class, really. We have like one pseudo test in here. Pretty much it's doing work each week and turning in work. So it's very rare that there'd be testing accommodations in this class. Dropping and withdrawing is your responsibility, but please kind of be careful with that, because if you drop at a certain point, it's not a clean drop. It shows up as a withdraw fail on your transcript, a WF. Sometimes it puts you under the limit of credits that you need for your financial aid, so that can be dangerous. And sometimes it can put you off, like this is a prereq for another class, and it can really screw up going forward in a timely manner. So any of your classes, if you're thinking of dropping, please talk to your advisor at a minimum, if not the teacher as well. And by the way, just not coming to class doesn't mean you dropped it. It'll still show up on your transcript as a WF, a withdrawal fail. Okay. Student conduct code, student right responsibilities, that's a hyperlink on here. It's underlined on your printed copy. If you don't have one of those student handbooks, it's kind of like a planner and you'd like one, there's still a bunch of them down at the atrium down there, student services. So if you want to go get, I see you have one of those books, right? That's the handbook right there, yeah. If you want one of those, they're great for keeping track of things, and there's some detailed information, the handbook in there as well. And then the last one, Title IX, confidentiality and responsible employee statement. Everybody here is protected from sex or gender-based discrimination, gender identity. We want to have a safe, open learning environment. If you have any concerns or issues, there's people here to talk to on campus. You know, reporting things, this is a safe place to do that. So there's some information at the bottom of the syllabus here about if you want to talk to a counselor or any other security concerns. So, any questions of the syllabus? It's kind of what you're used to seeing and hearing, I suppose. Okay. All right, that is the syllabi. Also on Blackboard, up here at the top, you do again see the online free resource book, and how I suggest you log into that. And here is our, I didn't print it out. If things change, I'll be updating it here as well, but this is our attempted weekly schedule. And what's due is in the far column at the right. So you can kind of see what we're going to do is, we're not really going to get into coding until the 5th week, February 18th, so we're doing some other stuff for a while. We do a little bit of coding, and then we finish with Facebook, Twitter, blogging, other things like that. So that is our hopeful schedule. The other thing to kind of keep in your mind is that all of your exercises in this class are going to be based on a business that you create or pretend, something that you've maybe wanted to do. So when you do blogging, when you do a video, when you do a Facebook page, it's going to be for this business. So if there's a real business that you work for or own, and they're okay with letting you practice with it, maybe they don't have social media and they're okay with you practicing with their site, that's a thought. It's a little scary sometimes if they're real. But otherwise, you're going to come up with a fake company. And I encourage you to think about this and have fun with it, because it's going to be everything you do from now on. So in the past, people have done like doggy daycares as a business they thought would be fun to have. So they end up making a website for it. They make a Facebook page, a Twitter page, a blog, a video. People have done travel agencies that they think they'd like to start. You name it. I've literally had so many different options come up. But think of something that's fun that you could say, yeah, this is going to be my business. So you're going to come up with a business name, what the business does, and everything that you create in this class is going to be for that business. Okay? So really quiet. Welcome.
I was in the wrong room.
Pardon?
I was in the wrong room.
Okay, what's your name?
Brandy.
Brandy. Great. And you are in marketing?
Correct.
Okay, we shared little blurbs. What's an interesting fun fact about you? I'm like putting you on the spot right now. People shared if they had animals, or if they transferred, or if they were in Florida, or if they hate the Packers. You know, cool stuff like that.
I like the Packers, but I don't understand football.
Okay. All right. So, Brandy, welcome. Just jot this down so I don't forget what I'm doing. Okay. All right. You also need a syllabi. So does anybody have any questions on where you find the book, what we're doing, how we're attempting to do it? All good? Okay. All right. Learning Plan 1 is kind of what we're doing today, and a lot of talking, actually. Explore Blackboard, we did that. Okay. The next thing we're just going to chat about is how the internet has changed how things happen in your life. And looking around the room, the internet has been a part of your life your whole life for all of you, right? Nobody in here was pre-internet that old. Do you ever hear your parents talk about what they had to do before Google? How did people communicate in 1980?
Landlines.
Landlines.
Dial-up.
That wasn't even there in 1980. We're going way back. We'll get to that because dial-up was fun too. Yeah, no, that's fine. So think back if you've heard stories. Letters.
Still do those, I guess.
Right. They're kind of missed out on. But so I'm in high school. I want to do something with my friends. How do I set that up?
Good old smoke signals.
Yes, thank you.
Payphone?
Yeah, phone, landline. So anybody remember? No, wrong word. When you called somebody's landline, if your phone rang at home and it's on the wall, mind you, hooked to the wall, did you know who was calling you? No. Caller ID didn't exist then either.
Nope.
Also, answering machines didn't exist then. So if you missed a call, if that boyfriend that you liked called you and nobody was home to hear the phone ring, it never happened. There was no proof of it ever happening. So, my God, it was stressful. So you had to pick up the phone and talk to whoever was on the other line. And your parents could answer the phone when it was your friend. I mean, horrible, right? How weird, thinking about it now. So, phones, letters. We would communicate via letters. Smoke signals, pigeons, depending on how far back we're going to go. Then, okay, let's go up to when the internet sort of starts existing for us, for normal people. The internet truly started way earlier than people think, but it was kind of a college thing. It was like two computers hooked up that could talk to each other, and that's where it started. So I want to say it about, early, like 95-ish. home computers and internet were kind of a thing, and it was dial-up, like you said. Does anybody remember that or hear stories about how fun dial-up was?
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
You couldn't make a phone call while you're on it.
Right? You couldn't even be on your other phone then. So it would make this weird noise, it would bing, it would bing, it would and then eventually it would come on. And the browser or the thing that gave us the internet at that point was AOL, America Online. I don't remember that. And it would pop up and say, "You've got mail." And you would be so excited because if you set up an email address, this is a funny thing too, most people at that point weren't using their real names in their email. It was like, doglover12345 at AOL.com. That's how everybody was. So you would find out who your friends or family were, and if you got email, it was meaningful. It was kind of like probably a handwritten letter would be today. It'd be shocking and meaningful. So you were excited to get email. Businesses didn't glom onto that right away and start sending you, ads in your email inbox at all. Cell phones. How did they start changing how we communicated? Anybody remember hear stories about the first cell phones ever? What they look like?
I've seen pictures.
Bag around or something.
They were like in a bag about this big. And when you unzipped the bag, by the way, and pulled it out, it was a normal handset with the wire that went to the bag. And only really, really, really rich people had them then when they first came out. So, did it cost money? You guys remember when long distance cost money? Do you hear your parents talk about this story? It used to cost money to call long distance. A lot of money. Cell phones in the early days used to cost money or minutes. So you would say, "Call me after 7. I have more minutes after 7. Don't call before then." How about when texting first started? On the phones that you had to push letter B or 3 times to get letter B. None of you lived through this, right?
No, I did.
And I thought, who on earth is ever going to text? This is ridiculous. I'm just going to call you and say, "Pick me up," not PPP, IICC. You weren't going to do that. It's crazy to me how much has changed, and kind of wonder where it's going to go next. I mean, the fact that we can video chat with people right now. The fact that I can answer my phone on my wrist is very Jetson-like, like who thought that would ever happen? I'm personally looking forward to the day that they figure out how to, what do they do in Star Trek, where they show up in a different place, they like vaporize you. What's that called? Huh? Teleport, thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Because that'll be a lot easier in life to just teleport yourself around to Florida and back with no issues. Okay, so let's think about how businesses have used these changing technologies and the web to do things with you. How many of you get a text message of some sort from a business? If you don't mind sharing what it is or how or why, I'd love to.
Toppers Pizza.
Okay, what do they say?
They always send coupons and stuff all the time.
Coupons, okay.
Or like today, $4.99 only, buy 2 for $4.99 each, stuff like that.
Okay.
And I actually go there a lot, so it's like not a lot like that, you know what I mean?
A lot is good.
Enough to the point where I can use your
Yeah.
code and I save money.
Good. Anybody else want to share when they get a text from a company, what it's about?
I just get a lot of appointment and meeting reminders.
Okay. Appointment and meeting. Yep.
It's the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah.
Coupons for Polo or something. They have a sale going.
Yeah.
Text me and let me.
Yeah. Has anybody done anything lately straight from their phone, like not even have to talk to a human being, get something all set up and done and ready to go just by pushing a few buttons that you can?
Every day.
Yeah. It's crazy. You don't want to necessarily speak to someone, so you you go to an app and you do this and you do that, and 3 minutes later it's all ready and waiting for you. The grocery service that you can shop online and just get a text or whatever, say when you're going to come pick it up, and they put it in your car. It's crazy.
DoorDash.
Huh?
DoorDash.
DoorDash. Think of all this. It's just everything, they want to make your life easier, but could any of these companies or these techniques existed if we were still on landlines? You're not going to do DoorDash how are you going to place that order? Or better yet, how do you know what you could order? Because you can't just go to a website and look at things, right? You have to maybe have physical menus in front of you and figure out your order and then phone into something. So, how do companies, if you need to get, if this you have at home and it dies and you need a new one, what do you guys do now? You need a new mouse.
Amazon today.
Right.
Yep.
Does anybody go shopping necessarily? I mean, sometimes we do. It can be easy to go somewhere. This might be a bad example because it's pretty easy. You could go to a lot of places right here in the 2-county region and get this mouse. But the fact that we can go on something like Amazon, get virtually anything we want, probably delivered within 2 days.
Same day too, I guess.
Depending where you live in bigger cities, a drone might bring it to you in 2 hours. What is this? You know,
That's pretty cool.
it's crazy. So technology has really, really changed the way businesses work, and that's kind of what we're going to look at. How many of you follow a company or a consumer product online? And by follow, what do you follow and how? Are you willing to share?
Sure, what do I follow? An example would be
Do you have an idea?
Yeah, I follow like Taco Bell, so you do like boxes or whatever. Their new deals coming out, their new stuff. So
Yeah.
I follow it on like Instagram or Twitter.
Okay, so I was going to say, so you follow on Instagram and Twitter, okay? Other people follow a business on a social media site.
Well, pretty much any the clothing stores I shop at. Like,
Yeah.
One example would be American Eagle, because I'm always looking at what new jeans they come out with.
Yep.
Because I always get jeans from there.
Yeah.
Whenever I can.
So even if you're not necessarily in the mood for shopping, an example would be I follow like Canon on social media, Facebook, probably Facebook the most. But the thing is if you follow a company on Facebook, let's talk about Facebook specifically. Are you guys still on that, or is that uncool?
Use it for work.
Huh?
Use it for work.
Okay. How about Instagram?
Yep.
Okay. I have to be honest, I don't follow a lot of businesses on Instagram, which I need to do so I have a better understanding of it. But I think this rule is going to apply. Is every post they make trying to sell you something?
In a way, it kind of leads you to it, I guess.
Okay, but are they all hard sells? Let's go that way. Okay. What are some of the things that aren't hard sells that you get from a business? Lifestyle ideas, or maybe American Eagle would send out just a cute picture of jeans styled with boots and a shirt. Not saying you have to buy these jeans because they're 20% off today. It's just, aren't these cute? And we're like, oh yeah, they are. You know. So you have to, on social media, whatever channel you're using, you have to be very wise about not hitting people over the head every single day with a pitch. Now, I take that back because perhaps something like Taco Bell or Toppers, that's all they do. And in a way, that's okay because those are $5 to $20 purchases, right? That you can make on the spur of the moment. Like, I was going to go have a healthy salad, but oh no, Toppers, I'm in. So that can be sell. But something like if you followed Mercedes-Benz and every ad was trying to sell you one, you can only have so many, right? You want to hear other things about what they're doing, maybe socially or for the environment, or how this celebrity does this or whatever. You want to hear background stories. So a food company might give out recipes or helpful hints on how to make the turkey, like the Tyson Turkey Company. Social media might be solid turkey recipes, and did you know that you can make a turkey in your crock pot or out over an open fire? Like all these helpful ideas, ultimately driving people to buy their turkey, but not blatantly screaming, here's a coupon for a turkey, because once you've bought a turkey, you're probably not in the market to buy another one the next day at 20 pounds. It's kind of a limited deal. All right, websites. Can you guys picture a website for a local company that you're familiar with, that you've gone to for whatever reason. And if anybody wants to share that example, I'll use it. And go from there.
There's this local food processing company called Hilltop Food and Storage in Waldo.
Okay.
Website, and I frequently visit.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the family.
Okay, you know the family. Okay.
Sure.
What is it that you go there to find when you're on that website? Or
I could tell when I go on, they try to like put it as if I'm a buyer.
Uh-huh.
So they obviously just try and show you like their experience, the pictures of the plant, and,
Sure.
like, this lifestyle, this like come to us kind of
Okay.
thing. That's what I see.
Good. Good. Anybody else? Is there a restaurant or a bar in your hometown or?
Paradigm on 8th Street.
Yeah, Paradigm. Do you go to their website? Okay, and why? What sends you there? What are you looking for?
I have friends that work there.
Okay.
It's just somewhere I've gone.
Just kind of looking around, see what
Mostly just the menu.
menu. They have entertainment there, right? Every now and then. So maybe that would be something. Any bar that has live music, maybe you would go to their website and see what's coming up in the next month or two. Who else can think of something that's not Amazon? A website that you visit that's a business.
I visit Plymouth Furniture a lot. I'm a salesman there.
Oh yeah.
I make a setup like to see like, oh, there it is online.
Yeah, cool, right? I did that. Okay, good. And, you know, when you say you make a setup, it's like a little furniture setup,
Yeah.
right? So people that go on there don't want to see 17 couches necessarily in a line. They want to see, this is how this couch looks with this end table, you know, whatever. They want to be like, oh, I want all that.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So that's a great sales technique, not pick one, walk another 10 miles. If you've ever been in big furniture stores, it's like overwhelming. Like, I can't stand it. Like, it's too much when there's 700 recliners looking at you in the face and don't know what to do. So, okay. Do you know, is that website run internally or do they hire out for that? Do you have any idea?
Actually, we do a lot of the work on the website there.
You do?
Yeah, we both work there.
Oh. Well, cool. Do you know code?
No, I haven't gone that far yet.
Okay.
I just do a lot of like their social media stuff.
Perfect.
She's more.
It's internal and external.
Okay.
So he has a company that does probably the coding
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that stuff, and then we kind of
Update?
we always check and update pricing and stuff like that because we know the pricing.
Perfect.
And we know how to find it.
Perfect. And that's what I think admins especially would do, or employees that are at a store. They might not build the website, but if you know how to go into it and update prices, or swap out a picture or something, that's really beneficial. That they didn't have to go back to the company that they hired originally to do all that quote little stuff because, you know, they're charging at a different hourly rate for sure. Yeah, that's a great example. Anybody else think of anything? Any website they visit for business purposes? It's funny, I kind of don't do a lot businessy anymore either. But if you you think you have a flat, you know you have a flat tire, you think it's got a puncture or a screw in it or something, do you guys go to the yellow pages and look up phone numbers for companies? Do you even know what yellow pages are?
I use my phone book.
Yeah, the phone book. There you go, the yellow pages. So how are you going to find out who in your community can fix your tire? Google it?
Yeah.
And what do you say or type in literally?
Flat tire.
Mechanic near me
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tire shop.
right now.
Okay, and if you are the tire shop within 10-mile radius, do you want to appear on that search results?
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's the stuff that you have to think about too from a business is how do we optimize, that's the marketing thing, how do we optimize our site? How do we optimize our search results? How do we show up on that first page of Google results? How many of you have done a search on Google, ignored everything on the first page, and went to page 30 just because you thought it'd be fun? Anybody ever make it to page 2?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's insane, right? And you know there's so many things out there, but you know that ranking is really, really important. The SEO on our phones, the, what's it called, geofencing, I had to think of that word quickly. Companies can do this where if you are a subscriber of theirs, like you get their emails, you get their text messages, so they have your phone number, they can set up geofencing. So if they are a bar and they geofence the whole block around them, and you walk in with your phone and you're thinking of going to this place. The minute you enter their geofence, they can send you a coupon. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. Here's 2 for 1. And you walk by that place and go straight to theirs. It's amazing. Really, really amazing what they can do. So there's just tons of things that we have to think about. And it's changed so very, very much. All right. Let's talk about how the internet has changed the way you communicate with your friends. You want to ask your friend if they want to do something tonight. What literal way do you go about doing that? I'm just curious. How do you reach out to your friends? Snapchat. Who uses Snapchat as their primary tool amongst their friends? Okay. What else if not that? How do you reach out to your friends? Facebook Messenger? Yeah. Who uses that primarily? Okay. Anybody just plain old text?
Do that sometimes.
Yeah.
A little of all.
Yeah, kind of a combination of all.
Yeah.
How about that Snapchat feature where you can see where all your buddies are?
I don't like that.
That's creepy.
I turn it
Correct.
off.
I turn mine off.
I think that is really interesting. I see my daughter using that all the time, like looking where all of her friends are, and it just kind of bugs me. The cool thing is that she doesn't know that it's turned on, and I can see where she is too. So every now and then I look to see where on the map she's hanging. She's 20. I can't care, but to be clear, whatever. Don't want to know. I hardly ever look at it because I don't want to know. How do you communicate with mom, dads, uncles, grandparents?
Venmo.
Venmo? Isn't that money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other way?
No.
Phone. I just call.
Call.
Yeah.
Okay. Do any of your parents or grandparents have Snapchat? Is that how you reach out to them?
My grandma just got Snapchat, and it's the cutest thing ever.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
My friend's grandma mom is 90. They're on a family Snapchat to talk about stuff, and she accidentally hits the video feature where it sends a video message to all 15 of them, and then they laugh because, grandma's being stupid. She's 90. It's so cute. So real true phone call. Talk to your parents. Is that true? Or grandparents?
Yeah.
Okay. How about if you work? If you are going to be late for work, how do you communicate with whoever is on the receiving end of that?
It's a call too.
Phone calls also? Okay. Okay, how about think of how it's changed how we do classes here in school. If school's canceled, how do you find out about the fact that it's a snow day?
Get a message. Text message.
Yeah.
And they do a lot. They call, they text.
Yeah, first the calling and then the text or something
The
like that.
funny thing is, if you have all of that registered, if you have a landline, which I know very few people do, but if you do, that starts ringing, your cell phone starts ringing, it starts beeping, your email notification goes off. It's like, yeah, we're having a snow day. They're letting us know for sure. If you miss a day and you want to know what went on in the class, what do you do?
Email the teacher.
And then where do they tell you to look?
Blackboard.
Yeah, right. Go to Blackboard. So it was funny, I was having a discussion with a friend their child was saying they just couldn't get over how it was when we were in college. How did you know if the instructor was sick and there wasn't going to be a class or something? We're like, well, we walked to the thing and there would be a sign. Like, well, how did you know what you had to do? I'm like, well, there would be a sign or we would find out the next week. How do you know if it's going to be canceled? How far do you have to walk? Why would you walk that far? Not knowing. Like, that's completely normal. Everything we did was not turned in electronically. It was in paper and pen, and you had to. Now I think about it, and it's just, I would hate going back to that. I would hate being a student without Google right now. I'm shocked by what we had to do to learn and get answers. And if you have a question of anything, you were sitting with a bunch of friends and we're arguing over what's right about something, somebody inevitably grabs their phone and says, hey Siri, and they ask the question, and like that we get answers. Anybody have smart devices at home in your house? Like
We
what?
got that Alexa thing.
Alexa. My son calls that a CIA hearing device. He thinks I shouldn't have it. Anything else in your house that's automated?
I just got a fridge, and it's Wi-Fi, and it has a screen, and it like sends real-time information to your like phone.
Insane.
I haven't hooked it up, but it's so unnecessary, I guess.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, you just gonna sit at this refrigerator.
Yeah. So amazing. It scares me, the whole, like, the grid. If somebody knocks out electricity to us for an
we're in
extended
trouble.
period of time, horrible. If somebody knocks out the internet, horrible. Scary. Really scary. Some of you may have the smart homes that have, like, lights that you can turn on remotely or that are programmed and come on. You literally say, there's not one in your, hey Alexa, remind me to yada yada, and it shows up on your phone in the reminders or in your notes or something. It's amazing what's changed and kind of makes you wonder, frankly, where things are going, but whatever. Okay, before we jump into the next topic, I'm going to take a break right now. I had 8 hours of classes yesterday of talking, and my voice is really not happy. If you can kind of hear, I'm like, so I'm going to go get a drink. And let's meet up at 5 after. So like a 10-minute break real quick if you want to go get something to eat or drink or whatever. And we'll come back and hit the next topic.